Hello and welcome back to the Medeek wall plugin. My name is Nathaniel Wilkerson and today I will be talking a little bit about the new Stair module. To start out with, we've got a couple icons here for you. The first one is the Draw Stairs icon and the other is the Edit Stairs icon. So that is the Stairs toolbar for now. I'm just going to go ahead and place that down in here. Another thing to be aware of as well with the stairs is if we go into Global Settings, go to the second page and here we have the Stairs tab, and basically all of the parameters that you can set for the stairs are available to be set here, and so you can set any of these defaults that you need to have set up. Yeah, there's quite a few of them, as you can see. All of these items for the most part are granular. In other words, you can set them per stair set. However, these right here, this one, the code compliance, this is a global setting, so you cannot turn this off for one stairs and leave it on for another. It's just either set here globally or it's not turned on at all. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and close this out. So I just kind of created a quick little test model here just for testing purposes, not really a full house or anything, but I think it gives us enough information here to start with the second level and a ground floor. I'm going to show you basically how we go from subfloor to subfloor. Now you can do finished floors and there's a special offset for that, so we'll show you that as well. To begin with, let's just go ahead and draw a straight run of stairs. I'm just going to pop a point here, and then I'm going to go ahead and my mouse out here. Let's see, keep zooming out. And basically, you notice how this isn't locking in. I do actually need to make that so it locks to the axis, but for the time being, just hit your control key and it can lock you to any of these standard positions, and then of course that unlocks you if you keep toggling it, and then we're going to just lock it here right to the 0 degrees for now. Alright, so there you go. Basically you start with the top point and you then find a point down here at the bottom where you want it to end, and that will determine your stair total height, and from that it will calculate how many stairs you need. Let's go delete that one more time and back up, and I'm going to talk a little bit more about the menu here first. Okay, so we've got a lot of parameters. I've tried to put a bubble next to each one to explain in a little more detail what that parameter is doing and what it's all about. And I probably do need to add a few pictures and that sort of thing, just to kind of give you a little better understanding of some of these parameters, because unfortunately, these, as you try to include enough parameters to fully define a good stairway, yeah, it gets to be a lot of information. So yeah, we can turn on skirt boards now. I'm going to go ahead and turn that on. We can turn on handrails. We have a gypsum gap here. Yeah, there's just a lot of parameters here. I'm going to go ahead and update that. And I'm going to show you something here interesting. So when you click this first point, you'll notice that is centering the stairway on that particular point, okay? And now you may not want that. You may want to be left or right justified. So what I've done is the down arrow will allow you to shift or toggle to left justification, hit it again, it'll toggle to right justification, hit it again, it goes back to center. So you can play with your justification as you need. And then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and lock that in again. And there you go. Okay, close that out. Now, and mind you, you can move these, if you need to shift this over wherever you want it, you can always move these assemblies and manually move them anywhere you like. And then, you know, when you regen that assembly, it will regen or edit in exactly the same spot. So it's not going to go back to the origin or something, which is kind of nice. So, you know, you can always, you know, fine tune the position a little bit if you need to down the road. Okay, so here we go. We've got ourselves a linear run of stairs. And I mean, yeah, you basically got everything here. You've got the skirt boards, you've got spacers, you've got the stringers. Okay, so let's say we want now, we're going to edit this stair assembly, and you know, maybe for whatever reason we need 4 stringers instead of 3 stringers. So I'm going to update that to 4. Okay, now you notice we've got 4 stringers instead of 3. And I'm going to put it back to 3. Okay. So if we look at this here, I'm going to keep that edit window open. I'm going to show you a few items here of interest. We've got this what we call a landing tread. It's a prefabricated landing tread, and typically what you do is you would actually cut out the little bit of the floor sheathing here, and then that would set into it. And of course that's a typical 3/4 inches. But now, assuming of course that we have a finished floor that's coming on top of this instead of just carpet, what we would do about that is we have what's called a finished floor offset. And you notice there's a top and there's a bottom. And the top, so let's go ahead and bump this to 3/4 of an inch. Okay, now you can see that the landing tread has been lifted up 3/4 of an inch. So, you know, that would be flush with the finished floor, you know, whatever that might be. And you could do the same for the bottom. So it actually, what it did is when we did that, it actually adjusted the riser height of all these risers, and they will be affected accordingly. So down here, you know, we're coming out onto this, but let's say we have another finished floor down here, and I'll go ahead and put in, you know, this can be anything, doesn't have to be 3/4 of an inch. Okay, so now it lifted that up, and you've got a 3/4 inch. And if you were to measure from this, okay, that's our riser height, and of course this riser height right here should be exactly the same, and it is. And let's check the one up top just to verify, because I always say trust but verify. And there we have it. So perfectly designed set of stairs. And anyways, I'm going to bump this back down to 0 for now, just because I want to do a wall-to-wall carpet type stairs. Okay. Handrail, lots of options there. I've been working on that a little bit. We've got a circular handrail with returns. You can change the returns to a cut handrail. I know this isn't code, but some people want that. And I've also included a few standard profiles for you. I think the LJ610 is pretty typical. Okay, and you can see it's got an interesting profile there. And of course you can change the material you use. So you can put your own custom materials here, or you can use one of the built-in ones. Basically the ones that are in bold here like this, these are kind of built in. You can't remove these. These will always be there, but these are coming from the custom material library in the global settings. So we put a kind of a timber look on that, and you can see we even got the little end grain. Okay. So that in a nutshell is just a linear rail of stairs, or a linear run of stairs, sorry. There's a lot of parameters here. We've got skirt board. We can offset the bottom and the top of the skirt board to make it, you know, flush with a finished floor, or make it down to the subfloor. Let's turn off that skirt board for just a second here, so we can see what's going on here. Okay, you can see we got the thrust block down here. We can turn that on and off as well. So I'm going to turn that off for a second just so you can see. Things goes away. Typically you got a 2x4 there. Okay, so let's look at a U-shaped stairs, as I call it, or I don't know if it's called a U-shape exactly, but that's what I call it. And I've kind of set up this little area here to kind of show that concept. And basically, I want to do a 40-inch wide stair width, and I've included 3.5 inches for a wall that will, ultimately be between the two staircases. So let's put a couple. One guideline right here, actually, just so I have something to draw against, up against right at this point. Okay. So I kind of drew just, I don't know, just whatever you want to do, but I just kind of drew a little place here for a landing where I think it's going to be, and I've actually kind of preset this up pretty well. So the distance between this, where the first run will start down to the landing, should work out pretty well, but you may have to adjust this opening a little bit to make everything work. So let's jump right into this right now. What I've done recently as well is let's go ahead and delete this other stairs, not that we need to, but just a lot of extra stuff floating around in the model. I've made it possible so that you can embed walls within groups. And what that does is allows you to isolate wall panels. So if I start drawing a little pony wall down here for this landing, it's going to try to create T intersections here, and same thing over here, and it's just going to get ugly. So what I've done is I've created a group, and I've placed some lines in it to kind of act as guides. And let's see here. This group right here. Okay, so now we're inside that group. So now while we're inside that group, I am going to go ahead. Well, actually, before I even do that, let's jump out. I forgot something here. So with that initial run of stairs that we created, that will help us determine our landing height, because our landing height is really just, it's going to be the height of one of those stairs, on one of those treads of stairs. And if we look, just throw another stairs out here real quick. So we've got, usually it's halfway down, so I think I had already measured it out. I think the 53 was about the one I chose, but I think it's a 6th one down that would seem like the right one. I think it's this one right here. Let's double check that. Yeah, that's our guy right there. So we'll leave this run of stairs here just to help us get it figured out. So basically, then that means if that's going to be my landing, I need to subtract the difference between the height of the landing framing, which happens to be 10.25, from that, and that will give me my pony wall height, which happens to be this number if you do the math. But I kind of got these set up so that I didn't have to sit there and calculate math while I'm trying to make the video. So basically right there, 43.4375 is exactly our pony wall height. So let's go ahead and create our pony wall for the and so I am going to just do interior. I'm going to do 2x4 studs. I'm going to turn off all the advanced options. I just want a real basic stud wall. Don't need anything fancy, and this is what I need to set, 43.4375. I think that's 43 7/16. And we'll hit update. And anything else there we need to do? I don't think so. I may be missing something, but I don't think I am. Okay, so let's just go ahead and place our walls in there. Okay, and you notice that when I have this inside this other group, it's not going to interact with these other wall panels. It's not, as far as they're concerned, as far as it's concerned, they don't exist. Okay. Oh gosh, now I'm inside of another. This is always fun. Okay, there we are. So all it's interacting is with the wall panels that are. I want to be over on that outside corner, not there. just go, I think it's 48 was the width, so we'll just hit that. There we go. Okay. So there's our pointing wall. All right. And that is, like I said, that's inside of a group. So those, if you click inside that group, then you can access and move these around and do whatever you need to do, edit them. Okay, so like I said, these other wall panels, they, as far as they're concerned, they don't know that these walls exist. So that's what I call wall panel isolation. And that's what we need. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and use the truss plugin, and we're going to put a little floor on this guy. And I'll just go right here. And I apologize, I probably should have just did this beforehand, but I kind of want to show the full process here. So if you bear with me a little bit longer, I'll see if I can knock this out. Okay, and we've got, yeah, 9.5 is great. And sure. And we're going to turn the seal plate off. Okay, so there's our nice little floor, and you can see it's framed up just like a little floor there. Okay, so we're good to go, and now all we need to do is place our stairs in there. And like I said, this here is and the reason why you want to get your stairs at the same level, or your landing at the same level as one of these treads, is because by doing that, you're now forcing the risers on this run of stairs and the risers on this run of stairs to be exactly the same. And that's what we want. We don't want our risers to be different. So now we'll go ahead and load up the stairs here. We're going to select this point right on the edge. We're going to put our cursor over here, and right now we can see that that's not where we want it, so we're going to hit the down arrow, and that lines us up right where we want to be. Okay. Alright, and we'll get to this here in just a second. And the same thing here. We are going to pick this point right here, and we just going to line it up right there. Anywhere down there is fine, just so it lines up. And bingo, there we go. And you'll notice that these spacers are tied up against the wall like they should, and there's a gap here for the gypsum, and same thing here. Now let's check our riser height to make sure everything works out like we think it does. Okay, so here we go. So you can see that's 7.6696, and if this is right, then these risers should be exactly the same, and they are. Perfect. Okay. So, and we've allowed ourselves 3.5 inches for a wall in between here if we like. I put the stair rails on the outside, We can always switch that. We can put that on the other side if we like. In fact, I'll show that to you really quick. Stair assembly, handrail options, you can switch it to the right side, or you can switch it to both sides. But we'll just go to the left. Now these are not open stairs. They're, we're planning on having a wall here, but I will be adding open stairs, or the option for what I call an open riser or open stringer, where you have balusters along the side here. So we're not quite into that yet, but that will be on the to-do list here in the future. So there you go. There's a U-shaped stairs. Yeah, basically this works out pretty well. I think we had 48 inches here. You add another 3.5 there, we end up with about 40 for the landing. If you want a bigger landing, you can always push it back and then push your opening. The one thing here is probably you can do something a little different here. Obviously, you got to pull the landing back, or I've seen a lot of people do a thing where you extend the stringer down. I don't know that I totally agree with this method of framing, but it seems to be fairly popular, so I'm going to go ahead and let's make sure we're editing this one here. Edit stair assembly. We're going to extend the stringer, and we're going to hit update, and you'll notice the stringer was extended, but it's not in the right spot yet. And we're also going to get rid of that thrust block. We don't want the thrust block anymore. So we'll just hit update, and then we're coming back 3.5 inches from the face of the stringer there. So we're going to change this stringer notch to 3.5 inches, and we hit update, and there you have it. And let me just show you. I've got basically the side spacer running all the way up to the face where when you do this what I call extended stringer. So I think that helps kind of strengthen it. But typically, if you're going to do something like this, you're actually going to put some little hangers here or some sort of L brackets, so that you're not putting all of the bearing pressure on this face. And what happens is, if you do that, you're going to tend to split the stringer out right here with that pressure. So it's imperative, in my opinion, that you add some sort of hanger or something, some hardware essentially, to help support the stringer if you do this sort of framing configuration. Alright, so let's jump back out here and take a look at this one more time. So basically what I did really is I initially, to get this, I created this, and this allowed me to determine where I wanted that landing height. And that landing height ended up being on this tread. So, and you'll see that this number here matches that number there, and that allows me to determine which is the right landing height. Okay, so let's go ahead and delete that now. What you haven't seen though also is, you'll notice here in the code, in the layers, we've got wall code, and this one's been turned off. And I'm going to go ahead and turn that layer on. And it's been drawing this the whole time, we just had it turned off. And so what it's drawing is, it's drawing this little envelope, which gives us a 80-inch or 6'8" height above the stair treads. And it just helps us realize, hey, we've got that much clearance, and you can see we're just fine here with this other run of stairs dropping down past this floor. So that's just a little kind of a convenient reminder thing that helps you know whether or not your stairs are going to, have enough clearance, headroom, basically. So let's go ahead and turn that off. What other things should we discuss? I think that pretty much covers it for now. Like I said, there's just a whole lot of options. Let me just dive back into those a little for a second here. You can change the riser materials, you can change the tread materials, and you have access to all of your custom materials that you've created. I created one called walnut, for instance. I'm going to go ahead and update the treads to that brown color. And like I said, all this is parametric, so it makes it really nice. You can change anything. So yeah, it's fairly advanced, but again, we need to do some more work with open stringers. So give it a shot. If you have any questions or issues with it, let me know, or other feature requests. I'm always more than willing to listen to requests and see what I can do. But I appreciate everybody's support, and thank you.